An offensive rebounding team. You'll see multiple players hit the glass tonight against Oklahoma. They've had 55 offensive rebounds in the last 3 games. And so Porter Moser, talking to his ball club today in shoot-around, said, hey, guys, the #1 key to tonight is rebounding. If we don't rebound well, Alcorn State will be able to hang around.
Sam Godwin jumps center for Oklahoma, opposed by Antonio Lisenby of Alcorn State. The Sooners will get the first touch. Students on their feet, anticipating the first basket. They are brimming with energy, are the students. One reason, free t-shirts. They love that. Jalen Moore gets bumped on his way to the basket. They'll whistle that one against Antonio Lisenby. Well, he's developed that element, hasn't he?
Yeah, even that right there. You know, the closeout, a little overzealous, drives it left, very much under control.
3 ball out of the corner by Kobe Elvis is off, and it bounds into the lap of Jeremiah Fears. Fears, deep 3. Jalen Moore up high to poke that one, but taken by the Braves. Davion Williams with the counter attack. Alcorn State 0-9. We take a look at their starting lineup here tonight. Been able to piece it together. They have a few guys who are out tonight. Jaheed Bennett, the lone returning front court player from a season ago, and Omari Hamilton, a big guard who is a JUCO transfer they really like. Shot clock is at 5. Tough running left-handed shot that banks home, and that is Bennett.
Yeah, Bennett, very physical 4-5 type. You saw it right there. And Alcorn State, they're going to get the ball to the elbows. They're going to move a lot of bodies, and they're going to try to drive you.
Sooner lineup has Jeremiah Fears, the reigning SEC Freshman of the Week. Elvis and Miles have been rock solid as transfer guards. And speaking of which, there's a 3 knocked down by Duke Miles, who's been excellent.
Yeah, he's been great. 47% from long range on the year coming into tonight.
3 ball by Williams is in there. And Alcorn State back on top. Sooners, is this the way it's going to be all night long? And now we've got the head coach, Landon Bussey, out to get in the face of one of his players here and get him off the floor. We've got a timeout, Brendan, at 5 apiece. I think that was Antonio Lisenby who attracted the ire of his head coach. And that's one thing about Landon Bussey, as you and I have spoken with him several times over the years. He is a no-nonsense kind of a coach.
Yeah, and he coaches hard and makes no apologies about it. What he's upset about is off a make, Chad. Oklahoma, Sam Godwin able to slip behind the defenders off of a make. And going back to Coach Bussey, he's a defensive-oriented coach. They've been very good offensively the last couple of years. But that end of the floor is what he's most concerned about. So that's the timeout right there. I love it. He's trying to keep his guys engaged. Hey, they have had a brutal travel schedule.
And there is Landon Bussey, 5th season. He has already been the SWAC Coach of the Year twice. He was the Coach of the Year in 2021, 2022, and the following year he was the co-coach of the year. And he has done an excellent job with this team. Last year they started 1-13 with a road trip like this, but they ripped off a 9-game winning streak and finished just 1 game out of the top spot in the
listen,
SWAC.
They were a nice team last year, very good, but when you're going consistently every night on the road to play power conference schools, I mean, that's tough, but it certainly prepares them for conference.
Omari Hamilton, and that's the 3 ball continuing to fall. It hasn't necessarily been a strength of this team. They shoot 32 or 28% from 3-point range.
Yeah, but Hamilton the last 4 games has made 10 threes coming in. So Oklahoma's got to be aware of him, especially since he knocked that first one down.
Godwin attacks off the high post. Moore had to flip that one to Fears. Good extra pass. Elvis, no. And a rebound to Marcus Tankersley. Dumped down over the top for Josh Mitchell, and he's able to save it. Alcorn State 3 for 3 from the field so far. Shot clock lays down to 5. Williams will launch and hit another one. His second.
And that's a freshman right there. Already making an immediate impact for this team.
That is a fearless freshman out of Vicksburg, Mississippi, as Jalen Moore can't connect. And Hamilton the rebound. He'll bring it himself. Hamilton drops home another one. And Porter Moser takes a timeout for the Sooners as Alcorn State not weary from the road, but red hot in McCaslin Fieldhouse tonight. Well, Landon Bussey was concerned his team might be a little bit flat. They are anything but.
Well, and the thing that they're doing and that they're committed to, they'll throw it inside. These shots are coming inside out for Alcorn State. They're getting a touch inside, working inside out, and that's much better for those shooters. And at each coach, Chad, already tonight, little timeout to have a couple of do-better speeches. And let's see Porter Moser right there lighting his ball club up.
That he is. And concerns for him tonight, of course, they had a quick turnaround. They went to Atlantis and won the championship. Got home. Of course, there's a travel day involved. Didn't have much time to prepare. Got the Georgia Tech win. But there's been a lot on the staff and the team here in the last week.
Yeah, and, you know, I thought the Georgia Tech game showed a lot because they got down 17-6. Coach Moser calls a timeout. They regroup. And it was kind of understandable because what you're saying, Chad, that they might be a little bit flat, a little bit dead-legged after that wonderful trip to the Bahamas. But this team's got a lot of resilience and toughness to them.
They have certainly exemplified that, the toughness in winning that event down in Atlantis. And it's a fresh 5 out there for the Sooners. Godine, Forsyth, Wagee. You got Glenn Taylor Jr. and this guy, Luke Northweather, who's been rolling. But not this time. Wagee plucks the rebound. Forsyth couldn't pull the trigger. Godine will. Excellent shooter. Bryson Godine. That stops a 9-0 run by the Braves.
Yeah, Godine back after missing 3 games. He was able to play in the Bahamas, Chad, and he is deadly from long range.
Has been through the course of his career. That rebound saved by Wagee, and here comes Godine. Forsyth lines one up. He got that one. Well, the fresh 5 have been the answer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you had basically a line exchange from Porter Moser, sending a message to his starters, and the bench has stepped up certainly.
The Sooners with back-to-back threes, a little 6-0 spurt. Nice dump down, and Bennett goes up to lay it in for the Braves.
Now, Bennett's a really nice piece because we talked about how physical he is at that 4 and 5, but moves really well. We've seen him make a couple of nice plays offensively already.
Bennett, the lone returning front court player for this Alcorn State team, as Forsyth is off the mark there. Marcus Tankersley, offensive foul. And credit Dayton Forsyth for taking the charge there. Got a shootout brewing so far, Brendan.
Porter Moser had to call a timeout, Chad. Oklahoma down 14-5. A little mass substitution of all 5 starters. Couple threes. Godine, and then the freshman Forsyth. Dale, Oklahoma.
Alcorn State got off to a blistering start. Oklahoma has started to respond. We welcome you back inside McCaslin Fieldhouse in Norman. It is Student Appreciation Night, second event. It is Porter Moser's idea. He loves the environment. He loves the crowd. But it is different. How do the players deal with this environment? People being kind of on top of them in a different type of a setting.
Nationally ranked. Maybe a little break. They're not studying on a Saturday night. I was getting ready to say a break from studying, but no, it's absolutely a great atmosphere. And you and I appreciate this maybe most, the history here, the legends in multiple sports that have had some great moments in this building. So no, this is really, really cool.
Blocking foul, that'll be a reach in against Cameron Foman, who's come off the bench. He's a transfer from South Georgia Tech College. It's the 3rd foul against Alcorn State in the early going. So Porter Moser subbed after his team fell behind very early on by 9 points.
Yeah, and after the media timeout, Chad, those get 5 go right back out there.
Shot clock is at 15. Dayton Forsyth handles for the Sooners. Luke Northweather left him open, and he made them pay.
Can really shoot it. You know, he's 6'11", so he's got a really high release, Chad. You see the soft touch with that. But that's nothing new. He was a 40% three-point shooter in high school.
Luke Northweather didn't score in the first 5 games of the year. In fact, he didn't even play in one, beg your pardon, the first 4 games of the year. Didn't even play in one of those. But he scored 25 points in the last 4 games, and they've started to use him a little bit more. Here's a look at what he has done in the switch in his game, Brendan.
Yeah, he played 8 minutes in those first 4 games, 70 plus the next 4. And he can knock down shots, but what he is doing is he's been in the right defensive positions. Talk to Porter Moser, good offense. Ooh, nice block right there.
That was Tyson McDaniels on the block. But what he is able to lay it in.
But Northweather, Chad, you're talking about being in the right spots defensively. And then the other thing, he played with toughness. You go back to the Arizona game, he had 10 and 7. And that was a grown man's game. I think, to me, that should have given him as much confidence as he's ever had while being here at Oklahoma.
Daniels gives the Braves the lead right back. Landon Bussey called him maybe the most versatile player that the Braves have. See substitutions coming on. Jeremiah Fears back in. He'll replace Glenn Taylor Jr. for the Sooners. And Alcorn State will go with Keontae Cornelius. Leading three-point shooter on this team. He's a real threat, is Cornelius. He's made 22 threes through the first 9 games.
And Porter Moser, that was the first player on the scouting report that he mentioned to you and I.
Yeah, the Braves kind of hide him a little bit, bring him off the bench, and you've got to be aware.
And you can just look at his numbers. 3/4 of his shots come from three-point range. He took 20. I had to double take this. He took 21 threes at South Alabama.
Love it.
Man, what I wouldn't have given.
Shot clock is under 10 as Williams pulls up and drains another one.
He is playing like a guy that's done this for multiple years. Remember, Williams, just a freshman, an in-state recruit out of Vicksburg.
Sometimes you don't know what you don't know. Yeah. And he's got 8 in the early going. Braves by 4. Speaking of freshmen, here's Dayton Forsyth. Nice find, and Wagee finishes. Muhammad Wagee, the Alabama transfer, was on that Final Four team for Nate Oates of the season ago. Played through a stress fracture through much of the season, but he is healthy and contributing for Oklahoma now. Who is that off of? They say it went off of, I think, Bryson Godine, so it'll stay here for Alcorn State.
There's Williams again. Little pull-up right there. Nice job of keeping his dribble alive. There's Forsyth. He can only make this play, Chad, because he played off 2 feet. You know, if he leaves his feet to try to make that pass, it's a turnover. So nice job of Dayton Forsyth finding Wagee.
Braves have the shot clock down to 5. Cornelius launches, and another one is home for Alcorn State. The Braves are 5 for 5 from downtown.
Well, you have to extend. We just talked about Cornelius. You have to extend as far out as he is because he's got deep range.
It's his 23rd made 3 of the year. Look at Fears pivot. Blocked, though, by McDaniels. Here comes Cornelius, I beg your pardon, Pajot, and he's able to lay it in transition.
Boy, good defensive play right there from the Braves. And it's a situation where Fears, he got too deep and left his feet, had nowhere to go.
Pajot is a program guy. He has just gotten better every year. 4th year in the program. Fears has the counter. I wonder if they shot it like this back in the old days here at McCaslin Fieldhouse. Friendly rims so far tonight. These two teams have already made 10 threes combined. And a foul underneath. They get Bryson Godine for that one. Nope, they'll get Muhammad Wagee with that personal foul.
Well, they're raining threes, Chadwick. You talked about it. Cornelius deep range. Got to get out there and contest. And we've seen Jeremiah Fears, the freshman, play smooth all season long. That's a smooth.
Sooner Wrestling was in here last night, and the great Oklahoma men's gymnastics program with Hall of Fame head coach Mark Williams. They have won 12 national titles. Lots of legends, as you said, in all sports. That's a tough turnaround there for Bennett. Sooners have gone back to their original starting five.
Yeah, good job of Godwin right there, just staying strong and not allowing an angle for Bennett.
Moore to Kobe Elvis, turns down the shot. And Miles threw it away, pitched it right into the hands of Cornelius.
Yeah, Miles, a rare mistake. He's typically very secure with the ball in his decision making.
A 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio for Miles so far this year. 10 to shoot for the Braves. Here's Pajot. And with 3 on the shot clock, a foul. It'll be 2 free throws for Marcus Tankersley.
Well, it was a really good defensive possession, but watch Jalen Moore. He goes for the fake right there. I think on the follow through from the jumper from Tankersley, Jalen Moore catches him. Tankersley, he's been playing well. 12 points the other night against Wichita State. Nice little floor game with 4 assists and just 1 turnover. There's definitely some talent and some toughness on this Alcorn State team, but like the majority of coaches, Chad, as you well know in the country, with the transfer rules being very flexible.
It's a good way to put it.
Yes, you have so many new players, and Coach Bussey is still trying to figure these guys out, and they're still trying to figure him out.
You can learn a lot about your team on a 10-game road trip, good and bad. As Coach Bussey said, it's just different, being able to talk to guys, discipline players if you need to, and most importantly, practice.
Yeah.
You're playing this many games in this many days, it's hard to get better.
I thought what he said was really interesting about he likes to play the tough schedule on the front end. The Marylands, the Oklahomas in November, then he can get back to practice in a little more of a routine where they can be home more. He's definitely got a plan, and he's had great success in his 4 years at Alcorn State.
Got Joe Lindsay over at the scorer's table just checking on something, and we don't have the benefit of being down there. We are, as you saw a moment ago, a little up high tonight. And there's a foul against the Braves, a hold as they try to pressure full court. They'll call that on Omari Hamilton. That is team foul number 4 against the Braves. Oklahoma, tough team to press, Brendan, with the very good guards, including this guy. Fears, attacks, count it, and a foul. That is the risk you run when you pressure him. He will make you pay.
Yeah, what happened is Godwin gets a screen about 3/4 court up right there. And if you don't go behind it and communicate, that gives Fears a head of steam. And he is so smooth. He gets so much out of his strides and in his quickness. And it still is crazy to me that he's barely 18 and yet plays with the strength that he does. We talked about Jalen Moore, Chad, getting to the line so much recently. Jeremiah Fears went to the line 14 times against Providence and 10 against Georgia Tech. He drives to contact. Very few young players can do that.
And he's in on that steal. The kick ahead, Miles finishes.
What Oklahoma is in right here, Chad, this is what they call their 12. They put Jalen Moore on the front of the press. They let you throw it in, and then they try to get a couple of traps.
And that'll be a hold against Kobe Elvis. That is his first personal foul and the 4th against the Sooners here in the first half. Boder-Moser's team climbing back within 1 after trailing by 9.
Yeah, here's that turnover. They talked about it today, and those bounce passes to the elbows, dig down with your hands and knock the ball free.
10 to shoot for the Braves. Tankersley trying to back down the freshman Fears to no avail. Under 5 to get one away. Rising is Hamilton, and he scores another. Now they're going to check just to make sure that he got that off. If he made that, if it counts, 6 for 6 from three-point range for Alcorn State. Yeah, tough to tell from that angle. But we've got our first review of the night. Joe Lindsay and Lucas Santos going to go over there and have a look at the monitor. They called it good to start with. Let's see.
Call is confirmed. 3-point bucket.
Yeah, it looked like he got it out. What you don't have is you don't have the lighted backboard here over in McCaslin.
Well, Brendan, you can't have everything.
I mean, I wasn't complaining. I just was saying, because that's what I usually look at with my older eyes. But hey, it's amazing. You know, a couple of those early shots from Alcorn State were wide open because Oklahoma, quite honestly, wasn't ready to go defensively. But the last couple they've made have been under duress. But here's the point that Porter Moser will make to his team. Already did, and then when they watch film, is you let them gain confidence and have a feel by not being ready defensively at the start.
Moore takes the baseball pass and is fouled by Pajot. Now we'll see. I think they'll call that on the shot. If not, Oklahoma's in the 1-and-1 bonus anyway, and we've still got nearly a half to go, and it will be 2 for Jalen Moore.
Yeah, this is nice right here. This is a nice pass. I mean, that's on the money. Jalen Moore right there, good hands and a
Jalen Moore has been a good foul shooter this year. That was a good heave there. The quarterbacks are getting, you know, pretty good deals these days. Can throw the ball like that. Jalen Moore, he is 6th in the SEC in scoring at 18 points per game. He is 6th in field goal percentage. And he is shooting 85% from the foul line. As you said earlier, he and Fears are getting there a ton.
Yeah, and in the last 3 games, he's averaged 21 points. And he hasn't shot it bad, but he hadn't shot it great like he was earlier in the year.
Fears the steal, glides to the window, and scores. Well, that's another element of his game.
Yeah, he has great anticipation. And he was just waiting to run through that pass right there. And we talked about his explosive burst. And he can get through it. Now look at this right here. He's going to come boom, right there. He just sat back. He was in good defensive position. Read it like a book, and then there's a lay-in.
That is 21 steals for Jeremiah Fears, 3rd most in the SEC. Amongst the many things that he has done very well early on in his collegiate career. Dayton Forsythe back in here for Oklahoma at a guard spot. Williams takes a little time off the clock, but he's double teamed now. Bennett trying to spin around Godwin. Solid defense. That ball did hit the rim, so the horn sounded to no avail. Here's Forsythe lining up one. Jalen Moore the rebound. They're going to call him for a little push in the back as he bumped into Tankersley.
Yeah, there was definitely a shove in the small of the back of Tankersley right there. And unfortunately for Jalen, it was right in front of the official on the baseline. Look at that weak side. Yeah, just right at the moment he went to go retrieve, just a little push with his head, both hands on the defensive rebounder's back.
And that's 2 fouls on Jalen Moore. He's over to the bench. Glenn Taylor Jr. back in. Sooners have committed 5 as a team. Alcorn State on top by 1, leading the 21st ranked Sooners. They've been red hot from 3-point range, 6 of 6 from downtown for the Braves. Shot clock at 5 again. Tankersley splits a double team but can't finish it. And the Sooners have a chance to take the lead on this trip. Godwin wide open, punches it home. And the Sooners have the lead, 31-30.
Boy, Taylor was like a quarterback right there. Took about 3 different reads to get it to Godwin. Veteran play, not getting in a hurry. It's amazing what the use of a ball fake can do to a defense.
Sooners' first lead since it was 3-2.
Yeah.
And there's 3-ball number 7 for the Braves.
Yeah.
Knocked down by Cornelius.
Sorry, Chad. Yeah, you have to get out there on him. I mean, he's got tremendous range. Too slow to contest right there.
He's made both of his 3-point tries here. Looking for Godwin in there was Fears, and Godwin is held by Bennett. So the Sooners will be at the foul line when we come back.
Well, Alcorn State hanging tough. Nice little pass from Taylor to Godwin. And I tell you what, Cornelius can flat out shoot it. You better get up on him. Hand in his face.
NBA for the 1975 NBA Rookie of the Year.
Oklahoma kid.
That's right.
His nickname Putnam City High School in Oklahoma City. That's what, you know, last year when you and I got to do this game here in McCaslin, what was cool is you have some huge banners at the top of the field house here of some of the greats, and you look at Gar Hurd, you look like at Alvin Adams, and it reminds you that Oklahoma basketball has been really good for a long time. A lot of greats have had big moments in this building.
It's such a home court feel with the students right on top of you in a smaller venue. Porter Moser, as you said, has really enjoyed the field. That's the first 3-point miss by the Braves, but there's what they've done really well. That's offensive rebound, though McDaniels can't finish it.
Well, they've made shots here tonight so far. They haven't had a lot of opportunities for those offensive rebounds.
18 shots taken. They've made 12, including 7 threes. One of the rare times the shot clock's a factor for the Sooners. It's down to 6. Lynn Taylor Jr. stepped out of bounds. Just took that step with his back foot going backward and over the line. That is the 5th Sooner turnover. Lynn Taylor Jr., though, such a tough, rugged type of player. St. John's and Oregon State, his 2 stops before coming to Oklahoma. And Porter Moser just loves the idea of this guy in the environment. He's played in Madison Square Garden 100 times, you know?
Yeah, definitely has some toughness. I mean, he's a really good piece for Oklahoma. I mean, right now, you could play small with him at the 4 because he's a really big guard. Most of the time, he turned it over right there, Chad. Most of the time, he takes care of it. He can make open threes and certainly brings a toughness to Oklahoma and allows Coach Moser some versatility. He and Jalen Moore give Oklahoma the most versatility within their lineup.
3 by Hamilton is short. Long rebound, though, right back to the Braves. Peugeot got it. This is Keontae Cornelius. He's made 2 threes here in this first half. Peugeot on the attack. The fall away, no. Another offensive rebound. As Hamilton had it stripped off of his leg, though, it'll be Sooner basketball.
But you're getting a little glimpse, you know, now some of these shots for Alcorn State are not falling, of how they attack the offensive glass. Porter Moser spent a long time, big part of shoot-around, just talking about going to your man and putting a body on him. And Oklahoma can't get in a jumping contest with these guys. They maybe have a size advantage, but Alcorn State is athletic and they're relentless on those offensive boards.
3 offensive rebounds for the Braves so far. And to try to combat that, Oklahoma's gone a little bigger here. Muhammad Wagi has returned. 33 apiece. We've had 3 ties, 4 lead changes. Porter Moser shuffling in the right combination here. Fears is going to come right back in for Glenn Taylor Jr.
With full court pressure right here. This is a tough spot throw in for Oklahoma on the corner. Northweather's got to be smart with the ball here.
Fears calmly navigates it. A kick out 3 for Northweather. No. Fears volleyballs that one back out. And Northweather can't quite reach it. Good look, though.
Yeah, and I was going to say that, Chad. Good look. Northweather did a nice job moving up the floor to give Fears a good lane, good window to pass the basketball.
So you look at Northweather, and as Porter Moser has said, he brings a different dimension, ability to shoot the three. But what's kept him playing is his rebounding. He said if he will continue to rebound, that shows growth and a sign that he can play more.
Yeah, he's getting tougher. And then defensively, all he's got to do is be in the right spots and not be out of position.
That one, Fears got a hand in, picked up by Pajot, and he converts it off the window. Alcorn State back up by 2.
Yeah, he got Wagee off balance to where Wagee couldn't leave the floor, uncertain of when Pajot would shoot it. Nice little play off the window right there.
62% shooting for Alcorn State, 57% for Oklahoma. Put new lights in this building 2 years ago. I think they're helping with the shooting stroke. It helps when you get it that close for Wagee as well.
Yeah, I like Forsyth tonight when he's driving it. Anytime he catches it on the perimeter, his eyes are up looking a pass or two ahead.
This is Cornelius with the bucket. Keontae Cornelius. He played against Alcorn State last year at Jackson State and scored 19 points against his now teammates. And that caught the eye of Landon Bussey. Goodine, the three, and that's good.
Boy, Goodine, really quick release. I mean, he is a true spot-up three-point shooter. Since he's been back off the injury, Chad, 17 of his 19 field goal attempts have come from long range. So you know what he's humming out there.
He shot nearly 47% from three-point range. 47% a season ago. And he's doing it once again this year for Porter Moser Sooners. Here's Forsyth. Got it. I don't know. The shooters may beg to play in the field house every game the way this is going. Cornelius off the mark, but there's another offensive rebound, the fourth. Bennett plucks it away. Pajot, Wagee knocked it away but couldn't save it. Some pretty good minutes here for Muhammad Wagee. Timeout, 6-0 Sooner run, total a 4-point lead.
Yeah, Chad, the Braves have been tough. Oklahoma trying to get a little separation. This is how you can do it, potentially. Goodine with the three from Fears. Forsyth with the three from Fears. Oklahoma, you know, what he's telling his ball club this last little stretch here in the final media timeout. I mean, you can't allow Oklahoma to have one of those runs. I mean, they're on a, what I would say, a mini run at a 6-0, those 2 threes we talked about.
Jeremiah Fears, a couple of steals for him in this first half. 8 points and 3 assists, and he has really learned to dial back the turnovers here in recent games. That's part of the learning process.
Well, you have to let him play. You have to let him go make plays because of his talent.
Nice cut to the bucket for Bennett to find the easy lay-in.
Hey, Bennett's a really nice player. In their league where you don't have a lot of big bodies, I mean, he's physical, but he also moves really good. Really nice player.
Here's Forsyth out of the corner. Yeah. Got him another. Dayton Forsyth makes his third three. Sooners by 5, which is their largest lead. And a whistle on the backside of travel. Amari Hamilton guilty of that one.
Let's take a look at that last three from Forsyth, Chad. Northweather, you got to come to him because he can shoot it. And then with the extra pass, Forsyth in the corner, a pure shooter. And he can make open shots. What I like, 5 assists, no turnovers. And a lot of those assists were to the bigs. And so he's recognized when he's driven it or drawn any kind of help in the half court where the opportunities are. So he's seen the floor well. He's securing it, and he's being rewarded by getting a couple of trays to go down as well.
Earning some more playing time. Turns down the three this time. Nice kick into the corner for Miles. Reverse is blocked. Up high to swat it away. Second block for McDaniels. Godin for three. Yes.
He just kind of waits.
He does.
And that's his game. Just lets the ball find him, and then he's deadly from long range.
He is 6 of 9 from three-point range his last 2 games. Perfect tonight, 3 for 3. 10 to shoot here for Alcorn State. Near travel and a turnover anyway. Duke Miles. Here comes Fears, has it taken. Tough pass, though. Williams to the rim and down.
Yeah, that's uncharacteristic. That's twice here in the first half where Miles has just been careless with the basketball. He really typically does a nice job of securing it.
We approach a minute remaining in this first half. Fears will try one. Cameron Foreman speeds to the other end, but turned away by Forsythe. This is Deljavian Harry, got himself into no man's land and gave it away. Fears and Forsythe, that combination can't produce the three this time. Miles to Fears for the lay-in. Connecting like Bluetooth, the guard tandem of Miles and Fears. About 2 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock to close out the half. There's a foul call way out top. Sooners did have a foul to give, though. That's only 6 against Oklahoma. And it forces Alcorn State to restart. Braves are going to sub. Both teams will sub here to close out the half. A little strategy.
Yeah, and you get good defenders, Godwin and Taylor, in there to get this final stop. And I like that he's leaving those 2 freshmen in there, Fears and Forsythe, to close out the half defensively.
They've got 19 points between the 2 of them and 8 assists with only 1 turnover between those 2 freshman guards. 8 to shoot. Cornelius can't shake Forsythe. 1 to shoot, up by Williams, and that one nearly went. That would have been apropos to close the half the way these 2 teams have shot it so far. Oklahoma has made 7 of 9 of 19 threes. Alcorn State has made 7 of 11.
Unbelievable how these teams have shot the basketball.
Shooter's gym so far tonight. Oklahoma has made 18 of 30. Jeremiah Fears pacing the Sooners with 10 points in that first half. 4 of 6 from the field, 1 of 3 from three-point range. Neither team got to the foul line a bunch, but I suppose when it's going through from three-point range, there's no need to go to the free throw line. So it'll be the Braves with first possession, half number 2.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how this first unit for Oklahoma comes out defensively. Be very surprised if they don't have a much better start, more intensity and toughness here in the second half.
Again, the Braves choose to run the shot clock down, and it works out as Marcus Tankersley spins and scores. Tankersley's got 6 points tonight. Brendan, you alluded to it, not a great start for the Oklahoma starting 5. Porter Moser took a timeout, put his 5-second unit guys in, and it worked out there in the first half as Sam Godwin will make his way to the foul line.
Yeah, nice look right there from Fears. Talked about how well we thought Dayton Forsythe saw the floor in the first half. Well, Fears sees it great. He really does. He is, and it's not going out on a limb saying he's going to be great. I mean, but he is, his pace at getting there has just been impressive.
Sam Godwin connects on both. He's got 8 points tonight. Sooner lead is 8, just underway in half number 2. where Alcorn State goes for offense. Three-point shot really fell in the first half of the first half.
But remember, they were getting those post touches into a guy like Bennett first, freeing up those three-point shots.
Williams off the mark. Loose ball, and we will have a held ball. Possession arrow favors Oklahoma. Alcorn State got it to begin the half.
In Oklahoma, we talked about how they need a better defensive effort. You know, chances are, you would think, so if you get that better defensive effort from Oklahoma, Alcorn State's not going to shoot it at 59% like they did in the first half. So you can't look at halftime and say, well, Alcorn State only got 4 offensive rebounds. The reason was because they're making shots. So they have to remember what Porter Moser told them. That's the way Alcorn State can hang around, is if you allow them to hurt you on the glass.
That is the 6th turnover against the Sooners tonight. Porter Moser, he talked high assist number, and he has called for his team to shoot more threes this year. They have, and they've made them. They're shooting about 45% of their shots are threes. Climbing to the window and in is Marcus Tankersley again.
That's 2 buckets for Alcorn State right at the rim off drives.
Jeremiah Fears collides with Tankersley and draws a foul. Tankersley can't believe it.
So you talked about Porter Moser wanting to shoot more threes, and it's not that this is the style that he wants to play. It's because he has a bunch of guys that can flat out shoot it from long range. So that's smart coaching.
Well, I think Fears
yeah, I was going to say, there's not very many freshmen that get that kind of treatment.
Agreed. Jalen Moore, that is his first field goal of the night. Jalen Moore had 1 point in the first half.
Yeah, there's no question that Porter Moser will try to get him going here the second half. So there's an emphasis now that you protected those 2 fouls to get him touches here early on.
Lisenby can't finish it. There's another offensive rebound. Pajot comes up with it. Hamilton, tough fall away with Godwin right in his face. Sooners push. Miles. Godwin lost it on the way up. The Sooners will reset it. Fears the lob and more. How's that for high percentage? Raptors are a little lower here in McCaslin Fieldhouse. Jalen Moore, not as high a climb. Sooners by 10 now. It is their largest lead of the night. And an offensive foul off the ball against Lisenby.
So watch this by Fears, Ted. This is what I'm talking about. Understanding how to create plays or seeing it before it occurs. Now, obviously, there's a wide open lane right there. Couple quick dribbles, draw just enough help from that low defender, throw it up to a guy that can jump out of the gym. Nice, simple play from Fears. That's what I like about him. He's got this tremendous ability, but he's also smart.
Jalen Moore circles it in, and he'll go to the foul line. How's that for a quick start to half number 2?
Well, we talked about his development offensively. Last year, respectable three-point shooter. This year, seeking the shot, so you have to get out on him and defend. Now, you throw in his ability to drive it a little better, especially if he can go straight line. It's a little bit to the left, but basically right to the cup. And Porter Moser has told us, told anybody has asked him, he just wants Jalen to make smart decisions as a basketball player. If he does that, the points will follow, and that's exactly what he's done all season long.
Be great at what he's good at.
Yeah.
Get out and run, rebound. The step-in 3 ball, which has fallen for him. He was the MVP for Oklahoma in their win in the battle for Atlantis, and then had a very good night. 15 points, 11 rebounds against his former team. Georgia Tech the other night. Might have been a little bit of talking, a little chirping going on, but Jalen got the last word as the Sooners won, just as most SEC teams did. Here's Miles through the passing lane and converts.
Now, Oklahoma doing a good job. Everything's in front. They're being sound and solid. Alcorn State's got to go back to ball movement. If they just try to dribble it out front, they're not going to get anything. Ball movement and touches inside to a guy like Bennett.
Double team out front, thrown off Fear's leg, but he'll pick it up. Save it to Wegee for the punch. Just fumbled it away for a little more highlight reel action. Higher degree of difficulty.
I didn't think he was going to get to it. Obviously got to it in plenty of time. This little tap back right there.
All of a sudden, it's a 17-point lead. Sooners 13-4 to start the second half. And that changes on the corner three from Amari Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton. He's one of those guys now. He makes one or two. He can get going in a hurry, scoring bunches.
How about 4? He's 4 of 5 from three-point range. There's more. Oh, he's got it in full attack mode.
Yeah. He's just so much more comfortable and smooth offensively.
He gets in the air, Brendan. He's just kind of orbiting the space. 13-3 run for the Sooners in the last 2.5 minutes. Here comes Wegee. He'll give it up. Wide open three. And turned down in favor of a Fears drive that's good. And that's another thing. This is a very young, talented guard in Fears, but what Miles and Elvis have done to allow him to play has been special for these veterans. And more highlight time. Oh my goodness. Jalen Moore. Full send. He's got 11 in the first 5 minutes of half number 2. Sooners sprinting away by 20. How about Duke Miles? DCO. Oh, does it ever. That defense creating a lot of offense for the Sooners. And Jeremiah Fears. Little higher degree of difficulty. Slip it in. And Wegee the finish. 20-point cushion for the Sooners. The capper is this highlight reel. Showtime dunk from Jalen Moore. Well, Oklahoma has forced 5 turnovers in the first 5 minutes of half number 2. And they have sprinted away, outscoring Alcorn State 19-7. 8-point lead at the half has turned into 20. Welcome back to a bouncing McCaslin Fieldhouse. You feeling safe up here, Brendan? These are kind of, the bleachers aren't quite as locked in as over at the Lloyd Noble Center. There's a lot of shaking and rattling and rolling going on.
I mean, I feel safe, but I have felt slightly nauseous a couple of
seasick.
It kind of feels like being on a cruise ship at times.
It's been a cruise ship for the Sooners here in half 2.
Very subtle sway.
Get you some Dramamine for the second half. So this is where Alcorn State goes for offense. Wegee takes a charge as Bennett lowered his shoulder.
You know, there's always potential silver lining, maybe when things don't go very well. Oklahoma, that slow start, those 5 that get inserted, they've all played well, including Wegee right there, who's been solid all night.
6-0 run in progress for the Sooners, who lead by 20.
1939. That's so he's in his early 30s. Obviously, a very talented basketball person.
Yeah, they went to the national semifinals a couple of times during his tenure. 20-point lead for the Sooners. Kobe Elvis lines one up. And Cameron Foreman just didn't quite corral that, stepped on the baseline. So it'll be a reset here for Oklahoma. We start to look at some of the numbers for the Sooners tonight. Oklahoma has scored 25 points off of 14 Alcorn State turnovers. So taking advantage of what they've been able to do, but that's been a consistent theme for the Sooners this year. They are second in the SEC in steals per game at better than 10, and opponents turn the basketball on average about 15 times per contest.
Yeah, so one of the things that I've thought poor turnover right there from Oklahoma that I have always thought about Porter Moser, but especially Chad, since he's been at Oklahoma and I've been able to be around the program quite a bit. He is actually a really good coach at both ends of the floor. I mean, he teaches offense well, understands that. Defensively, they're always sound. They have great scatter reports in preparation for their opponents. And you'd think most coaches are good at both ends. And a lot of them have a strength at one end or the other, but he is really, really good offensively and defensively in terms of just teaching the game.
Yeah, no stone left unturned.
Yep, man.
By Porter Moser and his staff, without question.
And I love when we visit with him, and hopefully it's because he's comfortable with us, but we sit down and we just say, hey, how you doing? And he goes right into, I mean, everything he tells his ball club.
And they have done what he talked about today. High assist number. They have, for the most part, kept Alcorn State off the offensive glass.
They have since about the 16-minute mark when he called that timeout in the first half when they were down 14-5.
I think that you see Lucas Santos saying, my fault. He didn't feel like he should blow the whistle. He's looking up at the shot clock. We'll see what we get deciphered. Landon Bussey wanting an explanation. The call, I think, was going to be over and back. And this is not Landon Bussey getting mad at the officials. He's encouraging his team here.
Yeah, and they're because of the inadvertent whistle, they're kind of allowing him a little autonomy over there. And that's great officiating. We explained it to him, and
he got the explanation and went right back into his guys.
Yeah.
They have had a grueling road stretch at Utah State, and what he's really excited about, number one, getting back home and sleeping in his own bed, but getting his team on the practice floor. Be about 8 hours back home to Lorman, Mississippi, and then they will get finals, and they'll get some valuable practice time.
And he was definitely looking forward to, once you get through finals, to there's no restrictions time-wise, so you can practice more than once, let's say. Man, I did not love the Christmas holiday practices. I mean, you wanted school to get back in session.
Please, can I go to class? Nice baseline dive to the hole and the dunk by Tyson McDaniels.
Yeah, McDaniels, I mean, he's really bouncy. Doesn't have a bunch of boards, but when he's been in there, he's got those long arms. Been very active at both ends on the glass.
Speaking of active, Bryson Gadine has been that way from the three-point line again tonight.
Again, Gadine just waits for his opportunities. Doesn't force it. And it's kind of like you concentrate so much on a Fears or a Jalen Moore or other Sooners, and then you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about Gadine and how great he shoots it. He's been really good for them since he's been back and healthy.
Gadine with the block there. He's made all 4 of his threes tonight. Last 2 games, he's 7 of 10 from three-point line. And he's open again. Good hand to the face that time from McDaniels. But Oklahoma's got 5 players this year shooting 33% or better, and they've got 4 guys who are at 38% or better from three-point range. I mean, 40 guys shooting 40, or 4 guys shooting 40%. That's tough to defend. And volleys into the arms of Forsythe. Taylor Jr. in and out. The under 12 here, and a slowdown by Alcorn State. Davian Williams will go to work. Got off to a great start. 10 early points, and there's the 3-ball coming into play once again.
Alcorn State, when Oklahoma went to that pressure and was turning them over, to me, the Braves seem fatigued, and understandably so with their schedule. Dead legs, but they've kind of been rejuvenated here the last couple of possessions. Have a lot more energy, but it helps, Chad, when the ball goes in the basket.
Glenn Taylor Jr. goes right at McDaniels and draws the foul. "16-point Sooner lead, Brendan."
Well, Bryson Goodine, 4 of 5 from long range, made his first 4. 47% a year ago at Fairfield. More of the same here in Norman.
There's Bryson Goodine, part of an Oklahoma effort from three-point range that has seen them make 10 of 23 from downtown tonight. Goodine is 4 of 5 from the 3 line. And you see where the Sooners rank in the SEC. They are second best in three-point percentage, and making 9.5 per game has them 5th. Porter Moser wanted this year. Analytics tell you that the three-point line is the way to go. But as you said, he's got a bunch of guys who have consistently made them through their careers.
Yeah, and prior to coming here. Now, Jalen Moore has made himself into that since being here with Porter Moser and his staff. You look across the board. Duke Miles can shoot it. Kobe Elvis at Dayton shot 37% a year ago. Goodine, we've talked about him. He made 77 of them at 47%. This day and age is excellent. Talked about Moore. Glenn Taylor, 42% a year ago, so he can make open ones. Northweather, and that's what he does as a 4-5. And then you throw in those 2 freshmen, Fears and Forsyth. I mean, these are legitimate shooters. And you know me, Chad. You know, too many times people say, well, this guy can really shoot it. And, you know, me,
and he's a 30% three-point
right. I'm
shooter.
like, well, you know, he had 2 games all year where he got hot. That's what, yeah, I guess he can. But no, these are legitimate shooters. If taking the right ones, I mean, they can make them. And so to me, as long as the ball's moving with them and they're taking care of it, I mean, they're going to have some big nights, even in SEC play.
Alcorn State trying to stay in it. It'll help to make shots like that from Amari Hamilton. Hamilton's got 17 now. He leads all scorers in this game. Dayton Forsyth having his best night as an Oklahoma Sooner so far. An open look. Nice little ball fake. Rebound secured by McDaniels. Cornelius. Why not? That's his 3rd made 3. 3 of 4 from three-point range. Porter Moser is not going to stand for it. He takes a Sooner timeout. So Alcorn State from the 3 line tonight, 10 of 15. This is a team that came in shooting 28% from downtown, but it's been that way both ways from three-point land.
Well, they have some toughness for sure, and that comes from Coach Bussey and the way that he coaches and what he expects. So watch right here. Forsyth's got to get out there. I mean, how many times is he going to knock one down? And it's tough when you're that young to really, like, is this guy really going to be able to knock this down? But you have to get out there on Cornelius. But this Braves team, you know, a lot of newbies. It's going to take some time, but we've seen Hamilton tonight make some tough shots. Cornelius can shoot it. I like Bennett, especially in the SWAC. And he's the type of player that can really make an impact.
And they're playing without a few guys tonight, including Jalik Gaines-Wyatt, who's a 10-point-a-game scorer. And Daniel Braster's another one, averaging about 5 per game. Has come in as a transfer. See Dayton Forsyth over on the bench. He's got 9 points and 6 assists in this game. Oklahoma once led by 20. It's down to 13 now. Fears climbs through a double team, but got himself under the rim. Rebounds his own miss. And a Jalen Moore 3 is good. Well, it worked out.
An offensive rebound and assist on that possession.
Forget about the missed field goal. 2 positives, 1 negative. You'll take it. There's Cornelius with the leaner. And Fears up for the rebound. Miles double clutches. Tough finish. Cornelius all the way. I beg your pardon. That's Williams all the way in.
Now these guys keep battling. Porter Moser knew that they would. You know, a lot of their games on the road. You look at some of the scores, and there's been some large margins, but for the most part during these games, they've been more than competitive. It's just, I mean, I don't know how, it doesn't matter how much depth you have. This road trip has to be taxing on a team like Alcorn State. So if I'm Coach Bussey, at least so far tonight, a lot of game left, but I would be extremely proud with which they have played Oklahoma here.
It's at 15 right now, and we were asking Landon Bussey last year. They played a difficult road schedule, started 1-13, but then they hit a 9-game winning streak in the middle of SWAC play, and we said, what led to that? He said, I looked at myself in the mirror and said, I'm not holding my guys accountable. Accountability's always been a big thing with him, and immediately the next day started holding them more accountable, disciplined, not turning the ball over on them, all those sorts of things, and they went on a 9-game winning streak. Nearly won the SWAC. There's an offensive rebound by Bennett, but out of the pack comes Elvis. The hit ahead toward Fears. Winds up with Jalen Moore. Sidestep three, Godine is off the mark.
Now, Godine is definitely most lethal when he can just catch and shoot. His 2 misses have come off situations where he's had to put it on the deck one time to create space.
That was a rugged play in there for Bennett. That started 11 games last year and lone front court returnee for Alcorn State this year.
I mean, this is just toughness right here. No finesse whatsoever, but it just shows you. You know, I talk about this with perimeter players when they drive it. If you drive it and you go in soft, even if you get hammered, the officials aren't going to call that. But if you drive it with strength and absorb the contact, you'll get rewarded. That was one of those cases that's similar. Bennett just used toughness, kept bodying up, and forced the foul and got himself to the line.
Yeah, really forced the contact. And he'll shoot one more. Porter Moser subbing here. And we got a whistle and a free throw lane violation against Alcorn State. Full court pressure. Oklahoma's not had a lot of trouble with it tonight. Elvis unguarded for three. Wagee the rebound and a reset for Fears to try one. Foreman grabs it for Alcorn State. Williams pulling the trigger from two. Running is Miles. Euro stepping for the lay-in. Duke Miles has got 7. Sooners led in scoring by the 15 from Jalen Moore. 14 of those here in the second half. Cornelius misses this one, and Fears wants to run. A Forsyth three. Both teams struggling a little bit from downtown.
Yeah, I think Alcorn State looks fatigued, and I think, yeah, he does. Coach Bussey gets a timeout, doesn't wait for that under 8.
So he'll get this one, and we'll step aside as well. Speaking of step aside, how about a little Euro step right here?
It's tough to defend this one-on-one in transition. Duke Miles knows it.
Another Sooner legend who played here inside McCaslin Fieldhouse, was all Big 8 guard first team. Garfield Hurd played at Oklahoma from 1967 to 1970. He was a third-round draft pick in the NBA draft and then had a lengthy 11-year career. Played for the Sonics, played for the Buffalo Braves and the San Diego Clippers, as well as the Chicago Bulls and Phoenix Suns.
Did he not play with Alvin Adams?
The 70s.
In Phoenix?
They were together in Phoenix briefly.
Yeah,
yes.
not here, obviously, but yeah. Great coaching career in the NBA, too.
Yeah. Speaking of coaches, got another former Sooner, Terry Stotts, longtime coach of the Portland Trail Blazers. He's now at Golden State as an assistant, coaching Buddy Hield, who's with the Golden State Warriors. Jalen Moore's had a half, and it continues. He's got 16 in the second half.
Yeah, because of those 2 fouls, only played 6 minutes in the first. He knew that he would get going. They got him a couple touches early by design to do just exactly that, get him going offensively.
Work ethic. Tested the NBA draft waters and said, I need to go back to work. I need to go back to school. And Oklahoma has developed me so much. That has continued in the offseason, and man, has it shown up to start.
Yes, and he's positioning himself to make it look like a really good decision.
Wegee and a foul.
Good minutes tonight from Wegee. Nice little catch in some traffic right here.
And Cornelius had to bear the brunt of that.
A good finish right there. Wegee's had some injury history. Talked to Porter Moser about him, and they said one thing that they really liked is he continues to develop his role on this team after it. He played with injury a year ago at Alabama, but they've loved his motor. They say, and that that's what you want out of anybody, but out of a big, in the very least, is just high motor at both ends of the floor where they're active and making an impact in that way, and he's been doing it.
Getting his legs more under him the last few games, and it has led to a solid performance. He's got 10 points, most he has scored as a Sooner, 5 rebounds as well tonight. Lead back out to 20. Forsythe with a great steal and save. Len Taylor Jr.'s 3.
Well, that's a great effort by Forsythe right there.
These are the things that Porter Moser and staff saw coming out of Dale High School just down the road as Bennett climbs high to punch one home. Student section wasn't real happy about the finish of that one.
He had an Oklahoma player under him.
He did. Taylor Jr. off the mark again. 5.5 to go. Alcorn State led by 9 early. Oklahoma had an 8-point advantage at the break. They've been pretty comfortable the entire second half. Two to shoot. Here comes Jalen Moore. Stolen from behind by Williams. And he's fouled. Len Taylor Jr. may pick this one up.
Yeah, and Coach Moser is on Moore. And he's got to understand, you get to a certain point, you got to understand numbers, what's in front of you. And if you do the math, there's going to be bodies behind you. I'll tell you what, though, you go to that last defensive possession, Chad, you basically had switches multiple times between Glenn Taylor and Jalen Moore on Cornelius right there. We talk about versatility, and I think the first thing that comes to people's minds are the offensive end. But that's what I said earlier in the game. Taylor and Moore give Oklahoma versatility, meaning they can guard multiple positions. They can go small because of them. They can go big because of them. And just very sound, use their length It was a great defensive possession by those two.
Dayton Forsythe staying in the game and in front of Davian Williams. Forsythe's had a very good night off the bench for the Sooners. And a holding foul off the ball. They get Kobe Elvis. That is foul number 5 against the Sooners. Alcorn State is over the limit, so Oklahoma will be at the free throw line on fouls the rest of the way. But Joe's leaner splashes home.
Yeah, that was nice right there. But Joe was able to get Moore a little bit on his heels. Score over the length of Moore. That's a nice job.
Forsythe the good find, and Wagee is able to finish it.
Hey, Wagee needs to take Forsythe out for dinner tonight or lunch tomorrow. I mean, when he is driven at Forsythe, how many times has he found him right there just kind of lurking, waiting for the help to come, and then he's dumped down?
That's 7 assists tonight for Forsythe. Bennett drops home the jumper. We're under 4 to play. Elvis with the step back. Alcorn State able to keep it close in the early stages. Oklahoma just a little too much. This is the 4th game in 8 days in 4 states for the Braves before they head back home.
They've literally been to each time zone.
They have. Gadine almost shot that from another time zone. And Jalen Moore retrieves the miss. Moore spins and scores, and a foul. That's been the kind of second half that Jalen Moore has had tonight.
Well, no longer raw with potential offensively. Jalen Moore's legit, can now score in multiple ways. Depth, kind of Big 12 type depth. Yeah, basketball-wise.
They went 13-2 in the SEC ACC Challenge against another power basketball league. Alabama beating North Carolina. Auburn had that close loss at Duke, which was a great game. And, you know, so many great coaches now in the SEC. Porter Moser is one of 6 SEC coaches to have taken a team to the Final Four.
Yeah, looking forward to Saturday, too. Oklahoma State new coach Steve Lutz. That'll have a neutral site conference feel to it, obviously. And then Michigan. Chad, I had 2 nights ago in Fort Worth, I had Xavier and TCU in the Big 12 Big East Challenge. Both those teams have played Michigan, and both Jamie Dixon and Sean Miller said Michigan is legit. The 2 7-footers, they played together. Dusty Mayford, the Atlantic coach a year ago that had so much success, the head coach there now. So, I mean, a couple of really interesting matchups. I mean, your rival at the Paycom Center a week from today, and then Michigan. They both raved about Michigan, and I had to, both of them go, hey, that's great, but can you tell me what you think about tonight's game?
And this is with Oklahoma already having beaten a top 25 team in Arizona at the Battle for Atlantis, having beaten a good Georgia Tech team coached by Damon Stoudemire just a couple of days ago at home.
And they were close games. Now, you could say, well, Oklahoma helped make those close, but as Coach Moser told us today, I asked him, I said, what have you learned most from your team here the last 4 games? He said that we can take a punch. We can take a punch and know that we can come back from that.
And they took an early punch tonight from Alcorn State and have landed far more blows, particularly here in the second half. That's going to be an over. Nope. They say the Sooners touched it. So Alcorn State will keep possession with under 2 minutes left. Jacob Fredson Cole has entered the lineup for Oklahoma for the first time tonight. Alcorn State, we've got Antonio Lisenby in there. And a shot clock violation that did not quite happen. Here's Fears. And Fredson Cole will be called for coming over the back there. And now Porter Moser will get his son Jake into the game. And Reed Lovelace as well. Fears and Gadine check out. Jeremiah Fears, 14 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists tonight. And Bryson Gadine has scored 12 on 4 of 7 shooting from 3-point range.
You know, Fears has scored double figures all 9 games this season.
Consistency.
Yeah.
And as Porter Moser was telling us earlier, he said the more situations that we can put him in, the better he's going to be. Super high IQ for Jeremiah Fears, and that's allowed him to learn very quickly.
And this is what I have noticed about him. He is a fast learner. And it's not just him being thrown in the mix. Like, he's intelligent. He has high basketball IQ. He's coachable. And we said it 2 or 3 games in, Chad. You know, his getting to where Oklahoma needs him, the quicker he does that, the quicker Oklahoma becomes really good. And that's why they're top 25 team.
They're about to be 9-0. So Reed Lovelace, Jake Moser. How about Jacob Fredson Cole here? They run Moser off the 3-point line. That was good ball movement. As we hit 1 minute left, spinning in is Lisenby. And a timeout taken here with a minute to play. 92-73, Oklahoma on top. Jalen Moore's got 19 second half points. And he leads everybody with 20 tonight. Oklahoma has 4 players in double figures. And a teaching moment here for Landon Bussey. Not going to let his team go quietly with a minute left. Here is this road schedule. At Washington, UC Riverside, South Alabama, Maryland, Wichita State, and then here to Norman. It is 4 games, 4 different states in 8 days. And you said 4 time zones.
Literally coast to coast. West Coast. Stop in at South Alabama. How tempting that was. You're semi-close to home, to Mississippi, and then you got to go to Maryland.
And here's what's left, as Landon Bussey was telling us, get some time for finals next week, then Rice and UAB. And look at that time off. From December 23rd to January 3rd, they'll be in the gym a lot. And another thing he said, not just practice time, but our bodies have to get rested. You know, he's really got some guys sitting out tonight just because of wear and tear with this road trip.
Well, I'm impressed with them tonight because you know they're tired. Their legs are tired. Your minds are tired. But they played tough. And I think that was better for Oklahoma than for it to be a game where it was, 30, 35 points. And they were very competitive, but Oklahoma ultimately, the better team and started playing the right way after that slow start.
Alcorn State had an early 9-point lead as the threes were falling in the first half, but Sooners made some adjustments. Porter Moser put in a new set of 5 players after that 14-5 lead as Forsythe goes up high to try to block the shot on the backside. And that will send Davion Williams to the free throw line.
Williams has had a nice night. Made some shots early. That's always encouraging, but even more so because he's just a freshman.
Was a 1,000-point scorer at Vicksburg High School. He has scored 13 tonight. Jacob Fredson Cole and Luke Northweather battling. That one is off of Pajot. Nope, it'll stay here on this end. .34 seconds left. And now the shot clock will be off. 92-76 Oklahoma. So the Sooners will have the first time in program history that they have been 9-0 in back-to-back seasons. And so Dayton Forsythe is going to go shoot some free throws here.
I have to admit something to you.
What's that?
Podsy. I didn't say it, but I thought, hey, this game's gone pretty quick. And as soon as I did, last minute and a half has lasted. Excited. I just want to be honest and upfront about that.
Yeah, it has gone on a minute, but that's okay. Where else would you rather be? Forsythe connecting, got that career high going tonight. Your silence says everything.
I just remember something you and I said to each other years ago. Man, this is fun. We could do it every night.
Yep, 2 times if they asked us to.
Absolutely.
Final 17 seconds as Oklahoma is going to move to 9-0. As we said, they were 10-0 to start last season. Heartbroken when they should have gotten into the NCAA tournament a year ago. And boy, they are building another one of those kind of resumes.
And tonight, a couple of things that were very bright spots. Wagee played well. Forsythe had his best game as a Sooner, and the depth, the bench, continuing to be developed for Porter Moser, which is important all the time. So nice win from the Sooners and a great effort from Alcorn State and Landon Bussey.
20 points for Jalen Moore, 19 of those arriving in the second half. He leads the way for the Sooners, who also get double-figure efforts from Dayton Forsythe with 14, a career high. Jeremiah Fears in double figures every game this season as a freshman. And also Bryson Gadine and Muhammad Wagee with a Oklahoma career high of 12 points. And you take a look at the assist numbers for the Sooners in this game. We talked about it numerous times, but 24 assists on 35 made field goals, Brendan.
Well, Porter Moser has always emphasized assist to turnover ratio. You know, assists means the ball's moving. Obviously, if you don't turn it over, you're securing it. But he said that to you and I prior to tip. He felt like if they had a high assist number, that means they were able to pass out of the pressure from Alcorn State, and then that would eventually lead to easy looks or better looks on the weak side of the floor. And they shared it really well. It wasn't just one player, it was the entire team.
I'd say it was a complete night. The students got free T-shirts to start the night. They watched their team get a win. And now they head into finals week as we take a look at these final numbers. Oklahoma shoots it very well, 55% from the field. Alcorn State 53%, and Oklahoma 27 points off of Alcorn State turnovers. Tonight we're joined by